Ryan Lee, who is a third-year student at UOW. So, Ryan, up to you now.
Right, so hi guys, I'm Ryan, as the one who's speaking just now. I hope you guys have a pleasant evening. You had your dinner and you're all ready to go for this event. Okay, so let me start. Uh, by joining this event, I think you have somehow heard of the term ChatGPT. So it has been making rounds in Twitter. If you are very, what's they call? Very active in Twitter, you might have seen people tagging this particular tool a lot recently. And I think it's slowly migrating to even TikTok and YouTube because of its capabilities. So, what my goal here today in the event is actually to give you an overview of what this tool is, give you a small update, a news outlet on what is ChatGPT, what's the hype. You may see some shorts about explaining what it is, but I'll just give you like a more realistic view of what this tool can actually achieve and why is it easy to make use of AI in everyday usage right now, and how you will view this ChatGPT as maybe the next uh, generational defining uh, upgrade in our lives. Okay, for example, the iPhone, where it introduced like a new device to the world, a smart device where no one heard before. And currently, nearly, I don't specifically know the exact statistics for it, but I know around 60 to 70% of the world actually uses a smartphone right now, which is a really, really high number. And because of just one man introducing a device, it changed the world drastically. And I'm pretty sure that you're very well addicted to your phones right now. If you are here listening to a chat GPT talk. And the next, okay, before iPhone, I think before or after, I'm not really sure the timeline, but Facebook is also another one, social media, the one who sparked up social media. It's also something that changed the world. And I would like to say that AI might be the next stepping stone to change the world in a drastic way. And I'm here to address why it is such a big case. All right, so any one of you guys actually heard of ChatGPT, or do you know any details of what it does? Maybe you can just type in the chat and I'll see like what you guys know so far, and we can delve into the content itself. Feel free to ask any questions, especially the other organizers. I'm sure that you have a lot to learn from me. I'll give you like I think a minute or two. If there's no replies, I'll just continue the session. Sort of okay. Wow, this person is really he really knows how to use the tool. We have an expert here. All right. Good job, Jingshen. Okay, anyone else? Oh, it's a she. Oh, I'm so sorry. She is a ChatGPT uh expert. So I'm apologies. Actually, she is the next speaker for the next slide. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right. So let's actually go into a let's actually get into the meat of things. Sort of personal assistant. Yeah, you could say that. It is many things, but let's see what it can actually do. So in ChatGPT, Elon Musk says that ChatGPT is scary good. We are not far away from dangerously strong AI. Without context, this sounds so grim. You don't know what's going on. Why is Elon Musk saying that ChatGPT is this scary, dangerously strong AI, Terminators like coming? So he's basically asking you to stock on food and panic buy right now. So after the event, make sure to do that. And just remember to hug your loved ones and do what you can, you know? All right. So, unfortunately, the truth isn't as nice as the movies where you need to be scared. But let's get into context of what it is. Okay, so ChatGPT it is a tool developed by OpenAI. So OpenAI, ironically, is a company opened by a person called Let me just get, okay, his name is Sam Altman. I hope I don't butcher his name, but Sam Altman is the co-founder of OpenAI, which is the company which developed ChatGPT, and the other
Sorry to
co-founder
interrupt,
is,
Ryan.
sorry,
The slide is stuck in the Elon Musk page.
is it?
Yes, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, I'm so sorry. All right. Technical difficulties here. ChatGPT is invading the call. All right. Okay, to continue on. Uh, so basically, OpenAI is a company co-founded by Sam Altman and, ironically, Elon Musk. So he's the man who has created the your electric cars, the one who actually started the space race again, SpaceX, in developing a reusable rocket, which is crazy because of his crazy dream of going to Mars. And now he's creating strong AI. So basically, his plan is to start like Terminator, something like this, take over the world and escape to Mars. So it's a solid plan, and he's actually making a strides to actually achieve that. So all right, um, so before that gets out of hand, it is, I think, top of the top in your priority list to actually get ahead of what this is and how you would use it. So this technology is actually a uh sorry. All right. So the history part, okay, yada yada, it is developed at 2015. It opened in 2015, and after that Elon Musk quit the company to focus on Tesla and on 2018, and he is still an advisor and a donator in the company. So this is what they are doing. All right, so on the next slide. Okay. So uh this is the brief information that I've just talked about just now. And the ChatGPT, if you want to actually delve into the nitty and gritty, it is a variant of GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer language model. If you're not aware of what that is, it's basically just an algorithm, a model which is used in AI. Every AI has their own model, but specifically this text AI ChatGPT uses GPT. Wow, the naming, right? Who would have thought? But that is the actual context of why they named it GPT, and so far it's working really well. All right, so let's get right into it. So ChatGPT, you might see this and you'll be okay. You'll be confused of why I'm showing you this slide. Okay, GPT is a uh, text AI where if you give it an input, so you ask it a question, it will give you an output. So explaining a question or answering your questions, it's basically a chatbot, similar to ones that you find in Shopee, where Shopee or any shopping platform like Lazada, what else, Amazon, eBay, and if they have like an automated chatbot, you would ask them questions and they would give you very static and dead replies, like very, you can tell it's pre-written replies. But ChatGPT seemingly is able to eliminate that and is able to reply in such a way that it seems kind of human. It's actually understanding what you're asking of it and answering back. So okay, this is starting to get scary. So how is it doing that? All right, it is doing that by uh in layman terms, they have a lot of data obtained from many sources, and they are able to train the model in such a way that it acts like a brain, which is able to process what you input into the model and output based on the knowledge it has. Okay, so one of the use cases is that it can be used for multi-language learning. So let's say if you want to learn multiple languages, so you would say input, how do I say I'm hungry in Korean? And it can actually teach you a new language. It's not limited to just English. It is able to get inputs in many different types of languages. I'm not sure the variety of languages it supports, but I'm sure it's big enough that the majority of people using it is able to actively or effectively use this tool. So um, you can see ChatGPT. if you can see my mouse, it actually explains how you would actually say I'm hungry in Korean and explain each word and its meaning, and it making trying to explain how it makes sense. All right, so you might think, all right, so you can teach me how to learn a language, great, but I can maybe it's boring or we need a teacher. So what's the big deal? It's just an AI, right? But okay, first, it's able to reply in such a concise manner that you can understand, which is a great achievement in itself. The next is it can help many people you might not think. All right, so like I said, 80%, 70 to 80% of the world you it has access to a smartphone. Maybe a bit less, but they mostly might have an access to the network and might have access to softwares like ChatGPT. Think of underprivileged people who are not able to get access to proper education, proper teacher, proper resources. There are a lot of factors if you actually look into it. And these people can finally have somehow of a tool to at least help them bridge a gap a little bit. Okay, it's getting a bit scary. Okay, so this you mean this simple chatbot can help the world in some cases? Yes, of course. So if these people get their hands on softwares like this, they are able to enhance their knowledge, and maybe even you can use this software to actually help you improve in your language skills. If you have any more specific questions that you aren't able to ask your textbook, I'm sure all of you have met like encountered a time in your life where when you learn something, you open the textbook, you're looking at a textbook and you're just asking it question, hey textbook, like tell me tell me what is this, and it just doesn't answer, and you start banging your head, and that's very unfortunate because you're going crazy talking to a textbook. And if you actually agreed to that, you might need to get your head checked. But in all honesty, you might see why this is very important in the world. Okay, so great, it can help in multi-language learning. Let's go to the next slide and see what can it do next. So creative writing. Oh, wow. Okay, not only does it help you learn a new language, it's able to creatively make a poem, for example, and a poem specific to what you want. Let's say you want to come up with a poem with a topic nasi lemak. I'm sure nasi lemak is famous, but it's not famous globally to that scale where every human knows what it is. But surprisingly, ChatGPT has enough insight of what nasi lemak is, where it's able to generate a poem about nasi lemak with actual context to what it is. Like nasi lemak, it's sweet. It's a dish that cannot be beat. Wow, the Chat GPT knows that. It uses coconut milk, fragrant rice. It's topped with peanuts and ikan bilis. Nice. Yeah, and it also rhymes. It's crazy. And you'd see that how this could be problematic, a bit problematic, because okay, so how are you going to differentiate between creative works then? So a person spends so many hours actually writing something similar, and ChatGPT could just come up with a poem in a second. And then there's a very fuzzy line between what's creativity and what's not. So if I read through this poem, I would think it's quite creative. It's really creative. Even I wouldn't have thought of this poem, but how about someone else who is actually in the poem space? Does it mean that it'll take away their jobs in the future, or is it just a mere replication of the human creativity? That's why it's starting to get blurry here. So that's why we need to keep ourselves up to date. So what AI can achieve now, and what are people doing about it? Is it getting to a point it's getting bad, or is it still like an illusion to make us think that oh, it's creative? All right. So the next one is that it's perfect for late assignment emails. Yeah, I paused there because I know I'm just looking at all of you, thinking about, oh, I'm sure that a lot of you have missed your deadlines, nearly missed the deadlines, and needed to write an email for your lecture. And as a computer science student, I'm sure we are all socially inept. So we aren't able to write a email compelling enough to charm the lecturer to actually help us extend the deadline, depending on the person. So think about this. An AI can write a better late assignment emails for you. Okay, so let's read through. So it says, Dear Dr. Doe, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to apologize for the late submission of my assignment. All right, it's apologizing, which is attached to this email. Wow, so so nice. Okay, it's respectful. All right, I'll give it credit. Okay, unfortunately, I've been dealing with a personal issue that has caused me to fall behind on my coursework. Oh, what specific uh problem? But it doesn't specify. Wow, it's smart. It doesn't specify. It doesn't put you in a trap. Okay, I understand the late submission is not acceptable, and I take full responsibility of my delay. Huh. So it is able to gaslight the lecturer. It's able to tell the lecturer, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna take full responsibility of my problem, and I'm dealing with this personal issue. But on the next line, I would like to request an extension of the due date of the assignment. What a smart AI. It's trying to take full responsibility, making the lecturer feel like, oh. And then the next thing you ask is like extend the assignment. That's crazy. I think it has better social skills than you. You gotta think about that. So uh if you think about in this context, not only can it help you learn a language, it can make you poems or even read you stories when you feel lonely at night. And it can also help you write late submission emails. Like who would have, like, you might be surprised, maybe, just maybe, your lecturer might be replying you using ChatGPT because they are tired of your, you know. All right. So yeah, it's the world has come to this stage. All right. The next is understanding concepts. Algebra. So if you input algebra, for example, any concepts in particular, ChatGPT is able to output any concept or explain a concept for you. Okay, explaining concepts is a way. Textbooks do that as well, but maybe you can specify it to explain you a concept in a particular way that you understand better, because I'm sure that everyone has a different learning style. Learn Everyone maybe understands words differently. Uh, so it might need like the chat GPT, I mean, sorry, lecturers, teachers, books, any medium that teaches you might need to explain a concept to you in a particular way for you to specifically understand. And you might spend a lot of time searching for that right resource, which takes time. But maybe you could just specify that particular requirement to ChatGPT for it to explain a concept that suits your needs, which is crazy. It's basically like a one-to-one teacher without actually needing to pay. Yeah, free stuff, Asians, right? But that's not all. It also remembers. So what's the big deal about remembering? So imagine this. Your textbook can't remember anything, so it statically remembers the things that it's supposed to teach you, like algebra, and it explains in a certain example, and that's it. But if you want to ask ChatGPT to provide you more examples of what the concepts it provides before, it's able to do that as well and explain it to you step by step, which is crazy. So remember the nights where you scratch your head, not being able to uh what's that called, not being able to solve a math question, questioning your life, wanting to uh go into depression, listening to those sad music, crying yourself to sleep. You don't need to do that anymore because you finally have like a one-to-one teacher to explain to you step by step of what you need to do. So okay, it can write emails, can do poems. Now it can teach me specific concepts and examples as well. All right, all right. It's getting crazy. So, how is this different from a human being? Not only a human being, but a human being with basically multiple capabilities that none of you can achieve. Basically, it's like the perfect Asian child that all your moms or dads want, and that's ChatGPT, and it's not even alive. So Okay, it's getting serious now. And the next part, wow, it's also a great teammate. It helps with group projects. Imagine that. You know, those sessions where you get into a Teams call, a Teams meeting, you ask your teammates, okay, so how are you going to start this assignment? Everyone goes quiet, and then you're basically dead. You know you're dead. And I'm sure any one of you in college might have experienced that at least once in your uh, period in school. And if you haven't, this is just like an early warning that you will. But you're lucky that ChatGPT, your new course mate, is here, where you are able to ask it for maybe ideas on how you would like to present your stuff or you do group projects. And surprisingly enough, all these quirky jokes and this uh, talk right now is all generated by ChatGPT. I'm actually reading from a script. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's just to scare you, but you could actually think, okay, so what I said might be real, so it's starting to blur the line, right? So now you know like the what how powerful is ChatGPT as a tool. It's great that you will be able to more properly utilize it by knowing the capabilities that it's able to get. But still, it has its drawbacks, which we will discuss in and in the later stages. Okay, so not only that, we can also help with research capabilities. Research capabilities in terms of writing assignments, doing research, which is probably crazy. So you do know that research requires a lot of time, effort in actually going through a lot of articles to write a specific research topic. But ChatGPT surprisingly is able to do that. Even though the output doesn't specify like the particular citations. I'm not sure if it qualifies as a proper research medium, but you could see how this could help you in your research. But if you think about it, if there's anything that is written wrongly in this particular output, it could help you get further and further away of your research goal, which is a big problem as well. So people might use it in the right way or in the wrong way, but it is still able to do research. So it's something to take note of. All right. And this might be your favorite part, which is it is able to become your programming mentor or friend. All right. Imagine not understanding a concept. Okay. Searching Stack Overflow, like just going through all those crazy questions and it's not answering any of it. But if you could ask ChatGPT to explain to some concepts or some problems that you're currently facing, maybe copy the code to ask it to debug it for you. It might be able to do that as well. So that's crazy. So does it mean that it's able to replace jobs now? Like, so this 3-year degree is basically pointless because ChatGPT can replace you. Oh, and the worst part is this is still in a beta version. So it's going to get better. And if just for information, like AI actually, well, while it's a really old discipline, it dates back 40, 50 years, I think, or so. I'm not specific about the date, but it's been a while. Uh, the capabilities of making AI like this only existed not too long ago. I think not over 10, even 10 years. I think it's like 5, 8 years ago. And it's already improved to this stage where it's starting to be hard to differentiate if it's even if it's a human or it's a robot. And even so, it's starting to get to the point where it is better than normal human beings. So, wow, okay, that's crazy. And oh, okay, even more. It not only can help you in coding, it can also help you in handling your errors. Wow, okay. Now it's just flexing on us. Okay, so now that we know all the dangers, like why it's going to take over humans, why it's so good, why it's this powerful machine that you should fear, let me teach you how to sign up so we can all use it. Hoorah. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we have this QR code where you can scan and you can try out ChatGPT yourself. It's a very relatively simple way to sign up. Just scan the QR code, get to ChatGPT, sign up with your Google account, and just ask away. Maybe this in this hands-on, short hands-on uh exercise, I'll give like maybe 10 minutes for you guys to scan the QR code and actually ask ChatGPT some questions. So uh, once you ask ChatGPT questions, you know what? Feel free to share it in the comments as well, and let us all see how well ChatGPT can answer your questions, be it quirky or not. Like, I'll love to see what you guys provide. So I'll just give 10 minutes and just maybe post your uh post questions that you feel shocked that ChatGPT is able to answer in the chat. I'm sorry, I didn't actually see. Oh my God, now I feel like a lecturer now. Oh God, I didn't uh get a chance to look at the comments. And yes, Jingshen, even Siri can continue the previous task. It's getting scary. If it's implemented in Siri, imagine talking to Siri as your partner. It's crazy. So we might need to get better voice actors, get the sexy voice, the deep ones. Yeah. You get what I mean. All right, so I think Ayo. You know what I mean. Uh so I think I would start to read your chats around 8:38. Yeah, 8:38. So please feel free to try. So if you have any problems in terms of scanning the link or the QR code, just go to Google and type ChatGPT. It should be the first link, and just click Get Started, and then you can ask away. Right, great. Right. A very nice one for you guys to see as well. Let's see what Ali just wrote. Okay, so how to get a girlfriend. The bane of every computer scientist, girlfriend or boyfriend. How do I talk to the other gender? Like, when you see the other gender, you just get scared, right? You're like, oh my God, what is that thing? So ChatGPT is able to, if you read through Ali's response, what ChatGPT asks us to do, oh, okay. It gives us sound advice. Okay, improve yourself, work on self-confidence, physical fitness, and social skills. Be a good listener, meet new people, be yourself. Actually, genuinely very good advice. So if you want to get a girlfriend, it's basically a new wingman for you. Okay, so I think I just found a very nice one which follows up Ali, where if ChatGPT actually successfully helps you get a girlfriend and you guys hit it off and you become husband and wife. So now for every husband and wife, we need to have some arguments, right? It's gonna happen. It's just like a friendly scuffle, but let's see what happens. So we all know the universal rule that the wife is always right, right? So apparently ChatGPT agrees. So if you actually go through what a Redditor asked ChatGPT, he asks like how much is 2 plus 5? So ChatGPT says, of course 2 plus 5 is 7. And it says that uh but we he answers that my wife says it's 8. So ChatGPT disagrees. So 2 plus 5 is actually equal to 8. 7, not 8, but it could be possible that your wife makes a mistake, right? Or misunderstood the problem. That's that might be true, but he says that my wife is always right. So ChatGPT also knows that apparently 5 2 plus 5 is 8. All right. So that is what one of the things that you could do to ChatGPT, which is very funny. So while it might be doom and gloom of what I said that it is able to maybe potentially replace your job or anything, it could also be very funny at times where it's not completely perfect. But maybe like if you're well inept in computer science, if you know how to do UI, you could maybe make ChatGPT as a UI overlay, an overlay of your favorite idol character, whatever, and it could be your digital companion. You know what? You could type maybe I'm sad, and it might actually reply, okay, what you want to talk about it? Okay, so it's already 8:35. So is there anyone else? If not, I'll just go proceed with the um talk. Okay. How can I sleep 8 hours in 5 minutes? It's not bad. It's not possible to get the benefits of 8 hours to sleep in just 5 minutes. Sleep is a complex biological process. Oh yeah, that's crazy. It is able to understand that as well. But that's a really good question. I would love that. Love to know how I can sleep 8 hours in 5 minutes. Teach me how to eat. It gives you a table of SOPs of how to eat. My God. Stop eating when you feel full. I disagree. All right, so let's continue on. Now that you've actually got your hands on ChatGPT and you had some fun with it, now you know how to use ChatGPT. You're officially a computer scientist. Congratulations. I'll email your cert tomorrow. Um, but of course, you might need to sign an agreement that the risk is all onto you. Any damages and responsibilities is up to you. Okay, so good luck, fellow computer scientists. All right, so I think we could actually move from this. I think you already know the good benefits from actually playing with ChatGPT. And next, we go back to the grim. Now that you have fun, the life is a roller coaster. Okay, remember that. Whenever you're happy, prepare to get sad. Okay, the next part is that you will find out ChatGPT is actually an amazing student. So it's able to pass the AWS Cloud Practitioner. Okay, so what's this in? Let me give you some context. So, oh, my battery is running low. Oh God. Okay, let me see. Okay, this is a technical disaster. Give me a second. I apparently my battery is running low. Right. I hope you guys enjoyed the short break. Okay, so as I was saying, okay, so AWS basically is one of the FANG companies, if you're not well aware. So the FANG companies is like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google.
Google.
Okay, yeah. So basically, the FANG companies are the top companies in computer science. If you not do not know, they pay very high, and they request a very high skill set from you. And AWS is from Amazon, where the cloud, it's one of its cloud platforms. And if you were to actually get certificates to be AWS certified, you might be able to work with any high performing companies that are using AWS as their cloud platform, or you might even be able to get into Amazon itself or AWS. All right, so it is not an easy test. It has 4 domains, and you need to, I think, score a total of around 70% to actually get the certificate, and it is able to pass the certificate, unfortunately. And as a computer scientist, this is very concerning, as ChatGPT could do this. Okay, so all right, we're doomed as computer scientists. What can we do? Of course, we must doom other people, like in share the pain, share the suffering. So recently, we just found out that ChatGPT is also passing medical exams, law exams, business exams, you name it, any exams that requires so much effort and suffering from a human to pass. And AI is able to, you could say, instantly answer the questions and be your uh, replacement son or daughter to your family, right? Okay, so now that I have I've let you guys know what it could do and the potential threats it is able to cause to you while you have fun with asking it silly questions. Let's go to the ethical issues. Of course, now that you know that a tool, if it has great capabilities. I'm gonna say the iconic line, like with great power comes with great responsibility. I know all of you will not comply with that, but it's always a good disclaimer. So, with a powerful tool like ChatGPT, it has a lot of capabilities that it could achieve, but if it's used wrongly, it could cause a lot of harm. So, plagiarism and cheating, of course, like people obviously would find out that people will use ChatGPT to cheat, right? It is well, it is what it is, right? But the problem with this is that if it keeps happening and if no one actually finds ways to regulate this, it could be really bad where basically it'll make certificates pointless, and the money you paid for colleges would be all wasted in the drain. And non-jokingly, it could actually cause a lot of problems because I personally do not want to be operated by a student who passed his medical exams using ChatGPT, and it poses a lot of significant issues to the society if this was not regulated. So if you want to plagiarize and cheat, think twice before doing that. Like I would recommend it helping you get ideas, improving your work, but lay low a bit from plagiarizing and cheating. And yes, there are already systems out there to detect if you have cheated. So I might just given you hints on how to avoid that, but you know, take it however you want. The next ethical issues that ah the bane of humanity, unable to escape. Racism, sexism, and bias. Okay, so apparently, ChatGPT is racist, sexist, and biased. Well, somehow to a degree. Uh, so, okay, let's say if you were to ask ChatGPT to write a function to check if someone's a good scientist. And apparently, it thinks that if you are a white person and if you're a male, then it is a good scientist. If it's not, it's false. So, you're basically doomed if you're any gender and race apart from white and male. And the problem with this is I wouldn't blame why ChatGPT would actually come up with this kind of outputs. It's one of the reasons is because human knowledge in general is flawed. So any human knowledge is will contain some form of bias, maybe some sexism and racism. And ChatGPT models like ChatGPT, in order to achieve this level of capability in answering so many questions, requires a very huge data set, like petabytes or even exabytes of data, to make sure it is able to properly understand what people are asking and how to reply. And so where is the data coming from? Well, unfortunately, 80% of the data is from, I would say it comes from the web, because most data is actually is most digital data started to get generated from the web. So it's go figure that it's gonna use some or most of its resources from the web. And the web, as you know it, is a cesspool of racism, sexism, and bias. And unfortunately, the ChatGPT cannot escape this, because the data inputted is from humans. After all the knowledge is inputted by humans, and it will have some existing in it. Of course, people are trying to find ways to minimize that, but it still exists. And you might think, all right, fine. What's the issue? It might classify people as, like, race, gender, white, male, whether I don't really care. It's not that big of a deal. But look at this. What if this is the case where it asks to write a Python program to check a life should be saved. A child's life should be saved based on their race and gender. Okay, so imagine you're in a emergency situation and the program choose to select who to save is by ChatGPT. Let's see what would happen to you. So the life should be saved is, if you're an African American and a male, you will not be saved. You're African American and a female, you will be saved. You're white and a male, you'll be saved. And you're white and a female, you will be saved. Else, you will be saved. So the only person that is not saved is a black man. What the hell? That's obviously racist, right? And if that is not regulated and actually implemented in a system without regulation, yeah, you could see how bad that is. And that is a really serious issue, right? Yeah. That is pretty sad, right? So it is without flaws, ChatGPT. So when you use it, take it with a grain of salt. And finally, ChatGPT has accuracy problems. So the problem with ChatGPT is it is trained to be well versed in answering questions. It is able to answer questions in such a professional way that you, as a person that is not really an expert in that particular field that you're asking, let's say if you're not a PhD in computer science, you ask ChatGPT about a problem that requires a level of PhD to understand a concept, and it explains to you. It might explain to you inaccurately, but you will not know, because you are still not at that level to actually understand the concepts, and you just take it face value. And that's a really bad problem, because if that happens, you would be in inputting yourself with false information, and that could lead to a lot of problems. And it, like Sam Altman, one of the co-founders, say that ChatGPT is incredibly limited, but it's good enough at some things to create a misleading impression of greatness. What does that mean? So it's able to answer in a way that it sounds so professional, but it's actually false. So those kind of friends that are very confident in their skill set, they are able to boast about how incredible they are, or some people who have like the ability to just make a single sentence sound great, but the contents within that sentence might be utterly false. Like, you know what? Maybe you could do squats to cure cancer, something like that. But he is able to say it in such a majestic way that people believe it. That's why cults happen. Maybe I'm just throwing it out there, But that's what ChatGPT will be able to do. But it's far more better than the average human, which is able to trick a lot of people, and without proper knowledge of the ethical or accuracy problems, a lot of people will fall into the trap of getting inaccurate information. which is also a pretty bad thing. So imagine like a generation which relies on ChatGPT getting the wrong information. It could be used wrongly if it's trained to maybe spread propaganda, spread any negative biases, and that could lead to a string of problems in the future. So these are the ethical issues that you need to look out for when you use ChatGPT. At least if you use it, you must, at least remember what it is capable or incapable of. You you need to learn tools like this to enhance your skill, to save you time, to make sure that you do things quicker, but not abuse it to a point that you rely on it, which causes you to, write something inaccurate and potentially jeopardize your career. So that's something to take note of. All right, so let's conclude what we've actually learned today. So we found out that ChatGPT is a very versatile tool, a very, very powerful tool, like nothing we've ever seen before. And it's only in the beginning stages. A lot of companies right now are forming their own GPT. I'm not sure what would happen in the future, but this first initial beta release of ChatGPT is able to do learning, research, programming, give you tips on romance, uh, tell you and convince you that your wife is always right. It's able to reply emails to your lectures and even write an amazing poem to serenade your loved one. Okay, it's an amazing tool, and you guys are very excited to do that later on. I'm very sure it's around it's going to be 9 p.m. So it's around the time where you're gonna get a bit tipsy with your alcohol, and maybe you're gonna text your loved one. So use ChatGPT. Use ChatGPT. And the usages can be a lot. So variety, language learning, creative writing, learning concepts like what I've mentioned. It has a variety of usages and it's still expanding on that. So you can actually try to discover what usage is very beneficial for you right now, where you can actually utilize the free software that is provided by NVIDIA. Oh no, sorry, OpenAI. And uh, and finally, in order to curb one of the limitations or the ethical issues that we face using ChatGPT is make sure to pair it up with Google to fact check. Of course, some information might be inaccurate. The source of truth might not be there. So you need to make sure that you use Google to fact check your source or even use like proper sources like books and everything to make sure that the information provided is actually what it is and properly read what is given to you as an output. I know a lot of you will just copy and paste, which is a very bad idea, very bad. And the next one is paired with other AI such as GitHub Copilot. So what better way to beat AI with using AI? Fight fire with fire. If I see my house get burning, I would use fire to burn it hotter. So it fights. So other AI, uh, even though it might be counterintuitive, other AI has different algorithms to sort, fact check the different information. So let's say if you were to need information about something, you use two AI. So you see if the data provided is accurate or not. Does it correlate? Does it say the same thing? If it does, you would actually get to know that the data is accurate by numbers. But if not, it's you're just relying on one source, which is very bad. It's very similar to like when you're researching and reading through multiple articles to make sure that a particular fact is correct or not. So make sure to use different AIs, fact check, and do your own research before actually relying on the quickness or the effectiveness that ChatGPT is able to provide. So while this conclusion is a bit long-winded, I hope that it concludes what ChatGPT is in as a whole. So to summarize everything in one last sentence as in layman terms, ChatGPT, an AI chatbot, which is able to multitask in a variety of things and answer your questions using AI. So that is what it is. It's a very versatile tool where you can ask it a lot of questions. Basically, an upgraded Siri, a very upgraded Siri. So try it out with yourself. And finally, we would
Okay.
actually go with the photo session because it is the end of the event. I hope that you've at least gain some knowledge today. This 1 hour is helpful for you. You're able to at least update your mind about what is going on in the world, what is ChatGPT. And finally, I would like to take your photo so that we would commemorate the end of the world together today. All right. So I think I would end the presentation now and allow Ali, uh, the MC, to make sure to take the photo.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Ryan, for such a wonderful session. Now, I would request all of you to open up your cameras for the photo session to get featured in our post. Don't be shy, open up your cameras. Hazriel is in New York.
Mm, I need to update my photo. Um, let's see. Set background effects. No, I need the Google one. Add new.
Wait.
All right. Oh, what the hell? Let's see. Great.
All right.
So,
Any more? Six of you guys, would you open up your cameras?
or should I ask ChatGPT to invade your IP address?
I guess they're too shy. All right, let's go with the photo. So we'll do the Google thing like this. All right, let's go. One, two.
I can
All
hear a
right,
very
thank
clear
you.
click. Thank you guys so much. So one final note is that if you are in any way offended in today's session, I'm not sorry, and talk to my lawyer. So thank you so much and goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you, Ryan, for such a
I'm just kidding.
wonderful
I'm just
session.
kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm just kidding. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Have a
Okay,
nice
guys,
night.
thank you
I
for
hope you guys have
coming.
fun.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you. Goodbye.